It stank the place out.
I-
Like my whole house stank when I was watching it. Like my whole house just stank. I was just thinking, oh, Jesus. And it wasn't even like my dog farting. It was just this frigging film, man. It was just like the fumes from it was just poor. I just thought, this is dust. And then I started to get all angry in my head, thinking, why is Abz making me watch this film, man?
But I guess I can't see you. Oh, all I see is the camera, so I'm just gonna go.
Yeah.
Ready on 1, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 3,
3,
2.
2,
Okay, that's
1.
the best.
There you go. It's not out of the way.
Where are we?
Yeah. How you doing? Good.
Yeah, I'm good. So I'm just gonna read the synopsis
Yeah.
or the log line.
Yeah. That was
Hold your thoughts.
mm.
Yeah, I could tell by the tone of your voice. Okay, plot logline. 2 wisecracking Chicago cops botch a sting operation against rising drug lord Julio Gonzalez, then decide to retire to the Key West, but return for one last 30 days to take him down.
Yeah. It was
Over to
painful,
you.
man. It was painful. It was painful. Like it felt like it was a reject of a reject script that was probably for Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor, but they couldn't get them, so they just went down the list, and then eventually they landed on these two, where they got like no chemistry. I don't know who the other dude was. I haven't seen
His
him in
name is
anything else.
Gregory Hines.
Yeah, I don't know who he was, but it was just like like the movie didn't know what it wanted to be for me.
Yeah.
There were moments where I thought, okay, it's going to be like it's going to be like a Gene Wilder, Richard Pryor, like silly, police academy type thing where they're going to amp it all up and it's going to be really, really silly. Then it's like, oh, they're not doing that. Or they're trying to be like kind of serious. So it's like they're trying to be like a 48 hours. I thought, okay, so it's going to go down the 48 hours route where it's just going to be a little few wisecracks and a bit of like rudeness and funniness, but actually it's kind of wrapped in a kind of a serious storyline. But then it's like, oh, you're not doing that either. And then they started doing like, the crap, sound effects for the punches, and I thought, oh, okay, so you're back doing the police academy type style now. So we're doing that now, and then the story just got. It's like, when's it going to kick in? Like, and then it's just like we need to get to the cliched buddy cop sort of montage. Let's just quickly rush to that. I just thought this is poor. I don't know whether it was before or after Harry Met Sally or wherever Billy Crystal started to blow up, but it just didn't work. Like, the main thing for me is it was just criminal, the lack of chemistry between them. It was just, I don't know what the director was thinking. I don't know what he was doing when they said cut after every scene. Was he thinking, yeah, that'll do? It's like, what do you mean that will do? Like this is as bad in every single level. And like, yeah, you recognize a few faces that will come later in life. Guy from Sopranos and Goonies, and Matey Boy from all those New York dramas and whatnot. So
Yeah, so
that they
the matey boy from all those New York stuff that you're talking about is Jimmy Smits. So this was like his breakout role before he did L.A. Law.
that's the one, L.A. Law. He's a good
Yeah, so
actor. He's a good actor.
he became really big in L.A. Law, and then he became really big when he took over the role in NYPD Blue.
Yeah, so he's a good actor. I've seen him in a few things. He's a good actor. He can act. And Matey Boy from Sopranos clearly can act. Obviously, and Goonies and that. He's a good actor and stuff.
Joe
Yeah,
Pantoliano.
and obviously, Billy Crystal's a good actor. He's a good actor in his own right as well when he does the right sort of comedy. But this was just painful. In terms of like buddy movies, it was just like it doesn't even make the list. Like if there's a list and there's like 100 buddy movies on there, I wouldn't even put it on the bottom. You know what I mean? It was just poor. It's just poor, and it's just stupid as well. It's just like these cops clear out their guns and shooting, randomly shooting they get robbed and they randomly shoot the car up and stuff. It's like, okay, so now you're trying to be like Eddie Murphy in, you know, Beverly Hills Cop, now trying to go for that sort of, okay, we're wild out here with our guns sort of thing. It's just like that just wouldn't happen. Like you're cuffing yourself to the prisoner, and then he turns into the even more of a bad guy. You think, oh, you're trying to set it up a little bit like, you know, this sort of buddy sort of film with the prisoner in the back. I know that was later on with Lethal Weapon, but you know what I mean. It's just trying to be like a bit like comedic with all three of them, sort of thing. Like, don't work, don't work. I didn't know what was going on with it. It's just poor. It's just poor at every single level, really. Yeah, it was dog shit, mate.
So,
It was, wasn't it? It stank the place out.
I,
Like my whole house stank when I was watching it. Like my whole house just stank. I was just thinking, oh, Jesus. And it wasn't even like my dog farting. It was just this frigging film, man. It was just like the fumes from it was just poor. I just thought this is dust. And then I started to get all angry in my head, thinking, why is Abz making me watch this film, man? I
sorry.
should have gone with the
I'm
Western.
sorry.
I was
We
just
should
getting
have just watched
frustrated.
the
I was
one.
just thinking, how much longer is left? Oh,
Do you know the funny thing is, it's an hour and 45 minutes,
it
and it
felt like
felt
four
like,
hours, man.
yeah,
Yeah,
no. You know what the funny thing was? I had a break in between. So you know the bit where they got to Florida,
yeah.
I was like, okay, and then the phone rang, and then I was just on the phone for like half an hour, and then I got off the phone. I was like, shit, I got the rest of this film to watch.
Yeah, that
But
feeling of,
dude,
oh, I've got to get through
so
this now.
I soon as the opening credits came up, I was like, this is a Beverly Hills Cop ripoff because the opening credits is direct like copycat of the opening credits of Beverly Hills Cop. You know, the whole
Yeah,
bit in
yeah, yeah,
Detroit
yeah. The bit,
and
yeah,
just
yeah. I thought
showing
that's what I was
everyone.
thinking. I was thinking, oh, it's going to be a bit like this then. Okay, they're taking little elements of that. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see how they.
And it was
But even like at the end, where they freeze frame, you know, when they freeze frame
mm,
at the end, you know, when they're like,
oh yeah,
yeah,
it's
we
Beverly Hills
cracked the
Cop.
case, we killed the bad
Yeah.
guy, and the bad guy we think he's dead, but he's not dead, and then we kill him, and then yeah, crack the case, yeah, buddies. So, oh, Jesus.
See, the thing is, right? So, like, I've been doing a little bit of reading, not a lot, but a little bit research on this. So, it was directed by Peter Hyams, who directed the sequel to 2001, 2010, and Outland and Capricorn One, and he did, I think he did Time Cop as well. So, the thing with this is that he was his own cinematographer, um, and he chose his big thing is that he decided to go on casting like Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines rather than using action stars because he wanted to make it a little bit more lighthearted and he didn't want it to make it he didn't want it to be a kind of mean spirited film like where there's a lot of blood and gore and all that. He wanted it to be based on the chemistry between the two of them. But I know what you're going to say. Let me finish this up. I agree with you, right? So I'd like the reviews have been from what I've seen of the reviews, they said that the chemistry was good. I think that the chemistry was forced, right? It just felt like um they were really trying hard to crack jokes and
Yeah,
it was just a bit yeah, I don't know.
I
But
just didn't
then
believe. I think it's almost like they didn't know. Not to get too deep in it because I'm not that sort of deep in, you know, when it comes to a lot of these sort of movies. But I kind of think when you got a buddy movie, each of them has to play their role in the sense that, you know, you got the serious one and you got the jokey one, yeah, and they're both sort of trying to pull, you know, tug of war with each other all the way through the film. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But eventually they're on the same sort of path to get to the same sort of goal. I think with these two, they just didn't know what their roles were. Like one was jokey, then he becomes a bit more serious, and then the other one is jokey, then he becomes serious, and then it's just like, oh, he's the womanizer, he's the one who. But now they're both getting women, and now
yeah.
it's just all over the place. It's just like you know, like Lethal Weapon, you know, later on, you know, you got the serious guy is just tired, he wants to retire. You got the wild one, you know, the Mel Gibson
Yeah, you
character, the
need
wild
like
one.
I know what you're
It
saying, like
works.
the
Yeah,
yin and the yang, isn't it? Like
yeah,
48
exactly. You
hours as
know,
well, the
Nick
yin, the
Nolte
yang.
and, you know, Eddie Murphy. You see two very distinct characters that kind of work as buddies. Even all the way up to like Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. So Martin Lawrence is like the more
Yeah,
serious
the
one and the
serious
married
one.
one. Yeah. But they just didn't know what they were. So it's just kind of like, I just don't believe you guys have been on the streets for years. You know,
But you know
it's
the
just
funny
like,
thing is, right? So apparently, the chemistry is real because they became lifelong friends after that because they had such a brilliant time making it, and they became lifelong friends until Gregory Hines passed away in 2003, I think it was.
That was it. Well, yeah. Well, maybe they should have made another film then.
Well,
Might have worked.
funny you should say that because there were plans to make a sequel because it was a hit. It wasn't like a massive hit, but it was still a kind of big enough hit for it to warrant a sequel. But they couldn't agree on a storyline because they just thought that all the scripts were a bit rubbish and it just didn't have the magic of the first one. Magic, I don't know what magic they're on about, but according to them, it just didn't have the
Yeah.
magic of the first one. And you
You
know
know,
what?
I
Apparently,
always try and be fair with these movies. I do try and be fair. You know what I mean? I'm trying to
yeah.
put myself in back in the day and all that sort of stuff. But you can't polish a turd, man. You know what I mean?
I mean, you
If it
can't, but
stinks,
then
it
we have to go
stinks.
back. Yeah, but we have to go back to what you were saying is like what we said about the last film, which I thought was turd and you didn't. You liked it a lot. So you said you have to look at it through the eyes of an 80s film.
You do,
And
you do,
if
you
you
do.
look at you, but if you look in the eyes through the eyes of an 80s film, it is an 80s film. You kind of like suspend
Yeah,
disbelief.
but that's not the thing
The
that's what
captain
I
is
say.
still the angry captain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
None of the
It's got those
fucking,
cliches. It's got those
yeah,
cliches. Don't
all
get
the
me wrong.
cliches in it.
I'm not saying that's what's wrong with it. I just do not see the chemistry between them. Right. I don't think
I agree with, I
whether it's
mean,
the
I
80s,
thought,
90s, or 2000s. It just
yeah,
didn't really work. And then there's something going on with the script where it's kind of like they're trying to make it fast moving and fast chat,
yeah.
but the
And it,
storyline is a bit
yeah.
convoluted. You know what I mean? It's not really
I think,
clear.
yeah,
You know,
because
it's
I
just
was
not
thinking
clear where they're
myself,
going.
yeah, I was thinking myself, like, where is the story going? And then it's just like, it's only now that it's a clear cut once I've read the log line, which is a botched raid, and then they're sent to Florida, and then that's when they retire, and that's when the story kicks in because that's what it means by running scared because they're running scared of their last 30 days before they retire.
Yeah.
That's why
So
they're
for
pulling their
me,
punches. But you
because
don't get
when
any
I
of that. It's just that that's more like a it's that yeah, it's the halfway mark, around the
because when I
halfway mark where they
read the synopsis or whatever it was, you know, to actually watch the film, sort of thing. That's what it kind of said. So, but by the time that sort of happens, like the main gist of the driver of the story is you're probably about 40 minutes or something in. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So it's
exactly,
almost
and it's
like
just
set it up earlier, and then it became like, oh, are they going to be like the two older cops teaching the two young rookies?
yeah.
Because that became a movie in itself. You know what I mean? Like, okay, now you got the two
And then you
rookies.
don't even see the two rookies that much. They're just like these two
Yeah,
dickheads.
yeah, yeah, and it's just like, oh, okay, so that's what it's about. Then they're trying to train the two, but it's like, oh, it's not really that though, is it? And it's like, oh, and also like if you're setting up about they're retiring or whatever, they weren't that old, were they? So it's not like
They're in
it
their
would
mid
make more
30s.
sense if they were. Yeah, but it didn't look like they were like old guys ready to retire. If it's like, you know, old guys ready to retire who like, yeah, let's properly retire, let's properly do it. It might be a bit more believable. But they were like just
But
obviously young at the
that was the
time,
thing.
cops.
In the original script, it was supposed to be two older guys, and they were supposed to be like kind of harder. And then Peter Hyams decided to go for like completely flip it and get two comedians because he thought that if not two comedians, but two people that you would never think of as these badass cops. So one of them, Billy Crystal, he was just coming off his SNL because he was a regular on Saturday Night Live and he just finished that. So he moved on to movies from there. And Gregory Hines was a famous Broadway, I think it was Broadway, but he was a famous tap dancer. He was in Chicago, not Chicago, Cotton Club as well, the movie, and he was in a couple other things as
Uh,
well. But he was a famous
but I
tap
never
dancer.
up until that moment, I pressed play to watch it. I've never even heard of the dude. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard of him before. I've seen him in a few
I've
things
seen
when I
him.
was growing up. But
Yeah.
so then the director chose to go with them because he just thought, yeah, people, the audience would be caught off guard by it, and it seems
I
like
mean,
it kind of worked.
I mean, the setup. If it was written like I imagine if it was in the 70s and it was more gritty, and you had like two you know very tired old cops who don't really follow the rules and all that sort of stuff, and yeah, they want to get out, and there's this like proper like badass on the streets. You can make a real gritty film out of that, really, and they come out for that last hurrah to
You know
try and
what would
take
have
down the
been
bad
better?
guy. That might
I
have
think,
worked.
yeah, do you know what? Going like riffing off what you've just said, if they stole the money from Julio and they go to Florida to like buy the bar, but then that's what the running scared could have been, like the mob.
Yeah. Then
Or
Julio comes after them. Julio. Yeah, you can have something like that. Yeah, because they could be dodgy cops, couldn't they?
yeah,
That'd be a little bit more gritty. And obviously Julio, he's a bit of a paperweight bad guy,
yeah,
wasn't he?
it's
It's
like
just they're all just paperweights, aren't they?
he wants to be bigger than Al Capone, and that's he's like telling them all of this. It's like, mate, that's going to be used against you in a court of law. What the fuck
Yeah,
are you
exactly.
doing, telling
Yeah,
these cops
exactly.
everything? It's like, let me just tell you the whole plot from my point of view, why I'm a badass, because I want to be the baddest gangster in Chicago.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know what's going on with it really. It was just, yeah, it just didn't work. It just didn't work really. And I thought, I've never really heard of it up until I watched it. So I don't know how, you said it was a hit back in the
It
day.
was a hit. So
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm gonna throw you some numbers. So apparently I think it was made for around 15 million.
Mm.
Um, what do you think its opening weekend was, considering this is the 80s?
Made for 15 million, probably a 6 million.
Fucking hell, man, you want money? 6.8 million. And then what do you think its domestic total was?
It was made for 15 million domestic total. Probably 28.
You're close. You're off by 10. 38.5
But
million.
yeah, yeah.
And it was, so adjusted for inflation, that would be about 108 million today, which would be a bona fide hit. Um, so it was the 26th highest grossing film of the year in 1986, beating out Big Trouble in Little China and Highlander. So it
I'm
beat
surprised,
those.
yeah, because they're quite well known movies of the 80s, aren't they?
Yeah. So
Big
you
Trouble in Little
know
China is
those
actually a
two.
way better movie than this.
Oh yeah,
Big Trouble in Little
exactly.
China is a way better movie.
So it's
Yeah.
profitable on a modest budget, but it wasn't like a massive hit. And plus, if you look back on all the buddy cop movies, you're never going to remember it because before that, you've got 48 Hours, you've got cop movies like Beverly Hills Cop. And then the same year, Cobra came out, which isn't a comedy, but it's an action movie about a cop. And then the following year, you had Lethal Weapon. So it kind of got drowned out in all of that, even though it's like a relative hit.
Yeah, I mean, it made his money, so they must have been all proud of themselves. Just before Harry Met Sally.
Yeah, it was like Harry
So this
Met
is
Sally was
before that.
1989.
That's when that was peak Billy Crystal, wasn't it? And
Well,
City
apparently no,
Slickers.
He was Pete Billy already,
Was
but
he?
we just didn't know of him because he was on a hit TV show in the 70s. He was like a stand-up comedian anyway because and he was touring with like Muhammad Ali and stuff. And then he was in Saturday Night Live for a few years, and he was massive on that. And then he left that, and he did this, and he did a few others, and it was just like I think when Harry Met Sally was his big film, and then City Slickers as well came out a couple of years after that. I think that
Well,
might
no,
have
City
been his
Slickers.
biggest film.
It's a good film, that was.
That I
Well,
think is
I
brilliant.
remember anyway. It was a good film
Yeah, I think it's brilliant.
for the
But
80s.
yeah, it was just like so. One other thing I want to ask you, and obviously we have to look at it from an 80s point of view. But the role of the women in the movie, what did you think?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't think they were that formidable. I mean, this time they weren't. Well, yeah, there was a few like, you know, when they went to was it Florida, and the few girls just tarting about the place.
Yeah,
But 'cause
I
that's
want to go
that's
to
how
that
that's
Florida,
how.
by the way.
What's that?
I want to go to that Florida.
That's just a made up Florida. It's
Do
probably not like that at all, I imagine. But so yeah, I think they were written in that way, weren't they? Just to be, candy. I think
Yeah,
his ex-wife was probably written a little bit better, but it was obvious that the setup was that she obviously was still in love with him by the way that she's obviously communicating with him. And what made me laugh at the end was when she's in that lift
yeah. She's like,
and
what
like
dentist?
it was like
The
that's one
fuck?
that's one, but like the bit where she's in the lift and like the doors are locked and like obviously they're shooting, but no one can get to her. And he's
Yeah.
like saying, "Okay, oh yeah, come and jump round and get into this." It's like, why does she need to jump? Just stay where you are. Just stay where you are, like
No,
till it's all died down, and then someone
but she
come.
doesn't even have to jump. She could just
Yeah,
walk over.
yeah. So I don't know what's happening here. Like, why would you need to do all that? Just stay put. That's probably the safest place for her right now to stay put. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But it's just like, yeah, come on, do it. Yeah,
No,
come on.
the thing is, he could have just gone out and pulled the doors apart from his side and said, like,
That's another
crawl
point
out.
that he could have done. Yeah, because he was next door, wasn't he? Yeah, he was
Yeah,
next door. He could
exactly.
have
It's
done
just
that because his door's opened. Yeah, yeah. I was thinking that was odd. But yeah, I just think yeah, it's forgettable, wasn't it? I don't think they were written in a way
I
to
think who
be
was
strong
worse than
female
that.
leads.
Yeah, I thought the one that who the other guy has and basically has is having an affair with her because she's married, isn't she? Or she's with someone, and he just keeps like arresting the other guy or arresting her just so he could get laid.
Yeah, yeah. I think they're trying to set him up to be the bit of a player, isn't he? Trying to be
Yeah.
the guy. I wasn't really that convinced about that though.
And
I wasn't
then
really convinced.
like she's cool with Billy Crystal just walking in nonchalant while
Yeah, it's a
they're
bit
having
odd.
sex whenever and he just lets himself in.
Yeah, but I think they're trying to. It's a bit like later on with Lethal Weapon. The matey boy's just like he's part of the family now, isn't he? You know,
Yeah, but I mean
you
still, I
know.
mean you wouldn't like it
I
if
know
I
what you
walked in
mean,
on
but
you right
it's
now and I say, yeah, bro, what's going on? You're cool. You'd be like,
yeah, but I think
fuck
they're
you
trying to
doing?
emphasize that we're so close as partners. You know what I mean? We've been in it for years and years and years. And this is this is just how it is. It's like
Yeah,
you know what
but
I mean?
she don't know that. But she's like instantly like, yeah, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I know that's how they write it. It's not believable. It's not believable, but it's like I get what they're trying to do, but obviously it's clumsy. Like they're trying to say,
Yeah,
you know, we're proper partners, you know. And it's a weird thing as well because America they do things so differently. But that obviously the reality is different. But in America, like here, like detectives, there's a team of them,
yeah,
and it's done. You got a lead detective who's basically like the manager, and then you got a whole team of detectives all doing different things.
yeah.
Whilst in America and all these sort of shows, there's always like that that one detective or the the two detectives that just get the whole case to themselves. Like what they did, they could go do the stakeout. You kind of think, wait a minute, you're going to go and do this dangerous stakeout. It's just the two of you. You know, you're just sitting there waiting for the drugs or whatever to be sold, and then you're just going to go run in there
Yeah,
with your
but
guns. Like
yeah,
you
but
got
you
no
know that's
backup.
not
You got
real.
no one on. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
And I've seen
that's
that a lot in
movie.
movies.
Yeah, but
They sort of do that. But
yeah, that's your typical like action movie or cop movie. Because if you watch like a Michael Mann movie, they've got a proper team to do the stakeout. And it's
yeah,
not just two people. They've got like a team of them. If you see Miami Vice, you see it's done properly. But apparently the director had what's it called? He's he got advice from the cops, local Chicago cops.
did he?
Yeah, so they helped out.
I don't know enough about American procedurals, but I know what I watched, and a lot of times when it's even like what's that one with Woody Harrison and Matey Boy,
True
True
Detective.
Detective? Yeah, it's just the two detectives, just the two of them, you know, going out
Yeah,
to try and save the day and pay. You know, even they had like some undercover stuff they did on that. It was just two of them, and you kind of think that would never happen in like this side of the woods because it's you need procedure, and also like firing your gun. Like every bullet has to be accounted for, doesn't it? You know, you
yeah,
can't just fire your gun just like that, just start firing your gun. Just like it's just like, yeah, we'll just do that in a public place. You got to write reports, you just fired a dangerous weapon.
reports. This is a
Yeah,
movie. What
it's
reports
just
are you
like,
on about? Do you know what I mean? Fuck that. I don't want
it's
to sit
like
at a desk and
and I
write.
know that's reality, and I know, but I think I end up thinking about reality when the movie's so rubbish that
Yeah,
I end up thinking, okay, well, this wouldn't work, you know. But when it's working, you forget about, oh yeah, I'll leave that, I'll leave that alone because actually I'm enjoying this, you know.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I didn't enjoy it. But yeah, I thought it flopped for me. But it was a hit, so
It was a hit.
well done, well done to the 80s.
What do you think about the ending, the shootout at the end? I thought it was whack, but apparently it was seen as groundbreaking at the time because it was all practical and the amount of coordination that they had to have. Apparently, it
Yeah,
was
maybe.
like
Yeah, I mean,
lauded, but
maybe. Yeah, I mean, I guess again, if we're looking at it from the lens of the '80s, and yeah, I can understand it. You know, it was a big setup. Um, Obviously, we've seen that many times now, haven't we? You know, it kind of reminded me a little bit of what's that film with Chris Rock and Jackie Chan?
that's
Um,
exactly what I was thinking as well.
yeah, yeah.
I was with Rush Hour in it. I was
In Rush Hour,
that
yeah. Maybe they Rush Hour got inspired by that scene because it's all kind of
must
looked a
be,
bit similar. Yeah,
yeah,
obviously everything was all high in like shopping centre type thing. So yeah, and also back then they didn't really have CGI so much. So they're really trying to shoot things out, and obviously not real
yeah.
bullets, but the things are getting smashed, and they got to coordinate everything. So yeah, it was an achievement. It was an achievement. it's predictable and cliched. You know, the bad guy gets shot, then he comes back, and there's a little bit where he looked like Scarface when he was getting shot.
Yeah,
You know, it's like it was a whole thing where he was acting a bit like Al Pacino getting shot. You know,
there
and
is a Scarface connection. I'm sure there is. The one of the cops. What's his name? I think his name is Stephen Bauer. He plays Scarface, the brother. No, the mate, the best mate.
yeah,
That's the same guy.
Manny.
Yeah, is his name Manny, the tall guy?
Yeah, it's Manny, I think. Yeah,
Yeah,
the guy who gets
he's
killed in
the
the end. Yeah, yeah.
yeah he's the guy in Running Scared with the long K's, the other rookie cop with the beard.
Oh, it is?
I'm sure that's him.
Is he?
Yeah,
Because
it's him.
he was already a star by then, wasn't he?
Uh,
That looks a bit.
yeah,
I
that
don't.
is him. But I'm going to confirm. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm just. But so you didn't like the action sequence at the end? I thought it was.
No, I recognise it was well put together. There's an ambitious action sequence at the end. I can definitely see that. I just think when it's wrapped up in a story that's not that great, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, fair enough. You know, and by that point, I was just desperate for it to be over.
Yeah.
I just want the film to end now. Yeah, I get you got the cliche of the bad guy coming back and he wants his coke and he's chucking the coke out and he's like, my coke, I'm gonna kill you, whatever. Goes running back up. It's just like, he had no real plan really, did he? But yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it was okay. It was okay, that sequence. It wasn't amazing, but it was okay.
And the thing is,
It
like,
made up for the other sequences that they had, the other sort of poor action sequences that they had before, and you know,
yeah, he is Stephen Bauer, and he is in Scarface.
yeah,
He is him.
I don't even recognize him.
Yeah, he's a good actor because I had to do a double take.
Yeah, I didn't recognize him. Yeah, so Scarface was not long after this one, was it?
Scarface was before.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, I thought he'd blown up by that point, but maybe Scarface was only a hit later on, wasn't it?
Scarface was a flop when it first came out, and it
Yeah,
was like one
in
of
the
the
hip hop
worst.
world, wasn't it? So, yeah,
Yeah,
it came more of a hit then. Yeah, it was almost like a cult classic. I remember that growing up, just
yes.
people talking about Scarface, and I watched it and I thought, oh yeah, I get it. Yeah, yeah, Scarface was all right.
What did you think of the music?
Yeah, it's typical 80s, isn't it? Being taken from Beverly Hills Cop or any
I
sort of one
think
of those
that's what they were trying
80s
to do.
movies. It had
I
similar
think that
sort of thing.
yeah, I think that they were trying like you got to remember that mid-80s soundtracks were the thing that kind of pushed movies and movies pushed the music as well. And the album was a big hit.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
Just my
one song in particular. I don't know if you probably don't remember, but I can remember listening to it because it used to be on VH1 and all these other shows on the radio. Called "Sweet Freedom" by Michael McDonald.
no, I don't know.
So yeah, he was originally from the Doobie Brothers, and I can't remember the other
Yeah,
band, but then he went out on his own. I don't want to sing it to you because I'm going to butcher it, but yeah, it was a big hit, and
yeah.
that was the song
We'll
that
cut
kind
it
of made the
in.
film.
We'll do this. We'll cut it in. But
Yeah,
but yeah, I
but
mean, I do like those 80s sound though. I do like those 80s sounds because you have proper singers that belting it out.
the New Edition, Once in a
Yeah.
Lifetime Groove, and Climax, and One Size Love, and then Patti
I'm
LaBelle.
surprised that they didn't have a live band in a club somewhere and then it all kicks off.
Yeah,
Because that happened quite a lot in the 80s films.
yeah.
So
But they do.
that'd have been good actually.
But they just had the bar anyway, and they kept going to the bar.
Yeah, at the bar. Yeah, there's always a bar, isn't there? People going to the
Yeah,
bar getting drinks.
yeah. But that soundtrack back in the day, that was a big soundtrack apparently. And it was typical of around that era. I grew up mainly on soundtracks. Because I'd watch films mainly, and then I'd listen to the music and where they came from. But
Yeah.
most normal people would listen to the music on the radio or seek music out. I was just
Yeah.
listening to soundtracks. So that's why I remember this track, that Michael
Fair enough.
McDonald one, and it was a big
Fair
one.
enough. Yeah,
Because
fair
do you
enough.
remember back in the day, like movie music videos, they used to show clips of the movies and then
Yeah, I
they
remember that.
cut it
Yeah,
in.
remember that.
They don't
Yeah.
do that anymore.
Well, it's dead now, isn't it? I think
Yeah,
even MTV have taken down the channel now, like for the
I
music.
mean, they have. they closed it, which is like, I
Everyone's
mean,
on,
they would,
everyone's on YouTube and Spotify and stuff.
yeah.
It's different, but yeah, there you go. But yeah, it's
What did you
yeah. I
think of
mean,
Chicago as a setting?
I don't think they. Yeah, I mean, no, don't get me wrong.
I liked it. I like that was the
It's a
one
gritty
thing.
city, isn't it?
Yeah, I could feel it. I could feel the weather.
Yeah, it was a gritty city. It reminded me a bit, you know, I don't know why I want to say trading places, but you know that sort of cold,
It did as
that
well.
sort
That
of
cold, yeah,
yeah, that cold city. It was just tough around there, isn't it? And
yeah,
then Florida was like Technicolor, and everyone's all like, "Oh, let's
yeah,
look at the
and all
sunset."
colourful
It's
and
like no
everything.
one
Yeah.
says that. Let's look at the sunset.
Mm.
Let's appreciate it. Oh, this is Florida. Yeah, let's
But
show
you
the
said,
difference.
oh, but the thing is, I was laughing because that's what we did in Ibiza.
Yeah,
We'd all crowd around us and watch the sunset at
fair
Cafe Del
enough.
Mar, and
Fair
it's a
enough.
thing. It's a thing.
Fair enough. Maybe that's because I haven't done that. Maybe you know, I was just. By that point, I was very cynical anyway because I was it's just yeah. But
Yeah, I think you
yeah, I
just
mean,
wanted it to be
overall,
done.
yeah, overall, it's not a great film. It's forgettable now. Obviously, get that time back, but you know, that's life, isn't it?
Exactly. I mean, there's going to be loads of these types of movies that we're going to have to
Yeah,
get through,
yeah.
unfortunately. But it is what it is, isn't it? You know, it just makes you a better man,
Yeah,
a stronger.
let's pick a more interesting one. I think it's in the lottery of movies that we haven't seen or I haven't seen
Well,
for
you
a
know
long
what?
time.
We're going to have to go through the good, the bad, the ugly, all that kind of shit.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And I apologize because I thought it was actually going to be a good film. Yeah, because I'd never seen it before. I'd only seen clips on TV when it used to come on. Because it used to be on quite a bit on like ITV and BBC late night. So I'd only watch bits and pieces of it. So I thought it'd be a good film because I thought Billy Crystal, but
yeah. Billy Crystal,
I
don't get me wrong. I'm sure they're all good in their own
just want
right.
to take
Like I'm
this
sure
moment just to say I'm sorry.
Playboy, but yeah, yeah. Okay, well, you know, we'll look for the next one.
But I mean, you did choose Wanted, Dead or Alive, and I thought that was shit. So kind of
Yeah,
even
yeah.
now in
So
it. So
he's evened out, innit? It's evened
yeah,
out. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we'll have to pick something else from that era.
you get to pick the next one.
Yeah, I'll have a little look. I'll have a little
All right.
look. I'll try and at least make it half good anyway. But yeah, maybe because we haven't heard these because we watched a lot of films and the ones that we've watched are generally good, aren't they? Or we've got
Yeah,
something that to say about it. But there's probably a reason why these ones we don't know because they weren't that great. So you know what I mean. So it's probably expected that we're going to watch ones that aren't great, but it'd be good to put in one that we have probably seen
yeah,
that we can chat about. You know. But yeah, let's do that.
yeah. Cool.
Yeah, cool, man. Just leave it there.
All right.